wanted to yell something, but what do you yell? And I'm trying to, like, if time slows down, I'm trying to choose the thing to yell that will have all the information that he needs. Because it was happening really fast. I had, like, that much time to yell, what can I yell in that much time? It's, hey, you guys, oh my God! That's not...
I did try to help this man. As the car was coming towards him, I reached out and I said, "Oh! Oh!" That's all I could think of to say.
All three jokes have major differences in their delivery, but it's an extreme coincidence that Dane's 2005 comedy album has 3 bits that cover the exact same premises as Louis' 2001 album. And in a weird turn of events, Louis invited Dane onto his television show to do a scripted scene where he confronts Dane.
I think you saw me do them. I know you saw me do them, and I think they just went in your brain. I don't think you meant to do it, but I don't think you stopped yourself either. And that's why I never felt the need to help you not be hated by a lot of people. But I feel bad. I mean, I do. I feel bad.
If this were the end of the accusations, maybe Dane could have gotten away with it. However, this was not his last offense. Dane was accused of taking material from Demetri Martin in 2006, where they both talk about asking for a shoe size and the worker comes back with the wrong size, resulting in them having to cut a piece of their foot off.
I went into a shoe store and I said, hey, can I get those in a 10? I guess
God damn, this nigga nose pointing at a bitch. Jesus.
Went in the back. And a couple minutes later he came out and he goes, I don't have a 10, I have a 9. Great. Because while you were in the back, my toes were severed off.
Again, recapping, do you have those in a 12, right? She goes into the stock room, she's in there for about a minute and a half, 2 minutes, right? She walks out, she comes up to me, you guys, so enthusiastic, such like optimism. She's holding the boot. She comes right up to me and she goes, we have it in 9. Great, you guys also have a bone saw anywhere nearby?
Dane's premise was nearly identical to Demetri's. This one's really hard to defend.
Damn.
Most joke theft can be justified because they are often relatable scenarios that anyone could have experienced, but cutting off your foot to fit into a shoe is way too creative and specific. As if it couldn't get any worse, Joe Rogan even says Dane stole one of his bits about tigers, but Dane changed it from tigers to rhinos. Rogan took matters into his own hands and confronted Dane with a phone call, seeking an explanation. Allegedly, Dane apologized to Joe and said he would remove the bit. But then 2 weeks later, Joe caught Dane telling another joke of his on stage once again. Then Joe confronted Dane in person saying, "What the F are you doing? You know that's my bit. You heard me say it. What the F makes you think you can take my material and do it on stage?" The two have since made amends for the whole incident, with Joe forgiving him and praising him for bringing comedy to social media, but the joke theft left a serious mark on Cook's career. The rest of his comedy journey has been a brutal nosedive from where it was at its peak. Sure, Cook had a large fan base, but most stand-up addicts wanted nothing more than to see him disappear. However, some comics get away with stealing jokes.
I mean, he did decent as far as like in the movies, I think, if I'm mistaken.
Their entire career, and their fan base has no idea, like Robin Williams, a comedy legend who wholeheartedly admits to stealing material, and people still don't believe it. Robin's stand-up felt like an unscripted, endless stream of consciousness. You just had to sit there in amazement as he'd fill a 1-hour special with riddles, puns, long setups, and one-liners at an extremely fast pace. But a lot of this success came from the constant battle inside Robin's head. Most of his career involved drug abuse and crippling depression, and he never hesitated to turn these experiences into art.
Hello, Secretary A here. I just stopped drinking alcohol because I used to wake up nude in my car with my keys in my... Hi, can I help you? No, thanks. It's just flooded. I'll be okay.
As fun as it was for the audience to see Robin Williams firing on all cylinders, a lot of comics didn't find it amusing at all, mostly because they'd be sitting in a club ready to go on, and suddenly they'd hear Robin use one of their jokes. One comic got so upset that he threw Williams against the wall before demanding $300 for a stolen bit. Robin said, "In the old days, if you hung out in comedy clubs, which I was doing almost 24/7, you hear things. And then, if you're improvising, you're all of a sudden repeating jokes and going, oh, my brain was working that way. I was also like the bank of comedy." Then when he got confronted for stealing the material, he said, "Oh, here you go. Here's money. I'm sorry, I didn't know. I just paid loads of cash. And then after a while I went, I bought that line already, and I had to pay again. I went, oh, I'm sorry. Now, this practice of buying jokes might seem a little strange. We like to think that our favorite
You
comedians
can
made
buy jokes from niggas, nigga, these just words. I get it though, there's somebody's craft, so I can't really just look at it as words. That's kind of being disingenuous, I guess. But
their material strictly from their personal experiences, but buying jokes has been a common practice since stand-up started. Sometimes the joke just clicks so well with the rest of a comedian's act that they can't help but pay real money to take it for themselves. It's very similar to a musician having a songwriter. There's nothing inherently wrong with it, but some people feel like it knocks down your credibility if you're not the one doing 100% of the work. However, for Robin, he seemed to regret the way he went about acquiring material. Every performance he gave on stage was like going into a trance, and he was so eager to make the audience laugh at every beat, he often blurted out material that wasn't his because it helped him avoid that horrible feeling of bombing.
Well, then you have to accept that idea that where they can, where either they laugh with you or they laugh at you. At some point, you have to be comfortable if they're laughing at you.
With either one, of laughing at you. Can you tolerate that? And that's maybe sometimes where I go, oh, the insecure part goes, no.
What are you afraid will happen?
I guess it's that fear of you'll recognize that they're, as you know, how insecure are we really?
Yeah.
How desperately insecure that made us do this for a living.
Now, this temperament is what protected Robin Williams from the downfall that often follows being labeled as a joke thief. He was always brutally honest with himself, no matter how bad it made him feel. Before his tragic death in 2014, Robin made a habit of avoiding comedy clubs outside of performing. He started to realize that he was a sponge, unintentionally taking material from every experience he had and turning it into comedy without a second thought. And when it comes to comedy or the creative process in general, he is not alone. There's actually a psychological explanation for why comedians unknowingly take material from others, and it's called cryptomnesia. Cryptomnesia is a type of memory bias in which a person unconsciously remembers something and believes that they have thought of it themselves. Some people also refer to it in comedy as parallel thinking, and it happens all the time in your real life. Maybe you were at a party sharing a great story about a personal experience with a close friend, only for that same friend to tell your story at another party next week, but with their own personal spin on it. And if you call them out, they'll give you a blank stare like nothing ever happened. And that's probably because they don't remember you telling them. They just unconsciously added it to their memory bank because laughter from others leads to an instant hit of dopamine, and they are looking for their next fix. Even psychology professors teaching students about cryptomnesia have noticed them falling victim to it.
I work with college students, and often throughout the year, I give them a lot of different examples for different psychological principles. And later on in the year, sometime, they'll repeat these examples to me as if they came up with them on their own.
This can happen whenever a person encounters an idea or piece of information but forgets where they saw or heard it. Suddenly they feel like they had a magical epiphany about a new invention or charming anecdote, and they truly walk around believing that it was their original thought. While a handful of comedians are notorious for stealing jokes, almost every comedian doing stand-up has been guilty of unintentionally stealing ideas and making them their own. Even Louis C.K. has gone on record saying this is probably what happened between him and Dane Cook, and Robin Williams' experience at the comedy club matches this description perfectly. It's not that they saw a special and deliberately stole someone else's ideas, it's that they're totally immersed in the world of comedy and accidentally archived a bit in their brain before going on stage. Then again, this is a convenient excuse for stealing, and sometimes the joke theft is so obvious that there's almost no way they made a mistake, and if you get called out on it, it could be the death of your career. Like when Joe Rogan exposed Carlos Mencia for being one of the biggest joke thieves in the history of comedy. Carlos Mencia was one of the most recognized names in the early 2000s comedy industry. He had killer stage presence, good timing, and amazing delivery, but behind the curtain, his reputation wasn't the best. Among other comics, he was considered the greasiest guy in the business. There was an open secret in the scene that if Carlos heard your joke and he liked it, he'd steal it. His joke stealing got so out of hand that sometimes he'd pitch stolen material to the very people he took it from. On the Mikey radio show, Carlos called in and acted like he had this hilarious original sketch idea.
There's stereotypes and you just do this and that, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to have a stereotype Olympics. So we did that yesterday. basically had a stereotype Olympics where we had 5 guys, you know, black guy, white guy, Asian guy, a Middle Eastern guy, and a Hispanic guy, and we had them just compete in stereotypical events to see if everybody actually had.
But the second he hung up the phone, Mikey revealed that Carlos stole the bit from another DJ.
Stereotypical Olympics is an idea that some DJs came up with in Miami. In fact, we heard the idea from these guys in Miami, and we were going to do it here on the air. We heard the idea from them at Morning Show Boot Camp last year. Oh.
Yeah, like in our notes back from boot camp.
Yeah, we got it in our notes.
It's like
Stereotypical
I have an email
Olympics.
from about 10 months ago that says Stereotypical Olympics, and it lists basically exactly everything he said they did.
No.
Damn.
And so here we are.
Oh, F.
Here we are talking about the fight between him and Rogan, where Rogan says this.
Of course he would. You know why he would? Because he's a thief and a scumbag.
And after years of this behavior, comedians were finally tired of it, and eventually Joe Rogan decided to do something about it. It's important to remember at the time, Carlos Mencia was much more famous than Joe Rogan. Mencia had his own TV show, voiced an animated series, had multiple popular comedy specials on HBO and Comedy Central, and Rogan, on the other hand, was mostly known as the host of Fear Factor. Plus, the UFC was not nearly as large as it is today, and Rogan's podcast did not even exist yet. Also in the comedy industry, one of the most important rules at that time was whether you are a comic or a patron, filming another person's set was forbidden. Therefore, it was extremely difficult to prove that Mencia's joke theft was actually happening. So Joe Rogan created a plan to expose him.
Mitzi was like, well, stay away from him. You know, I basically told the whole story. I'm like, Mitzi, he's stealing comedians' material and doing their closing bits right before he brings them up on stage. When he's there, we flash the light so that people know that he's in the audience, so you don't do your bit.
I would just do crowd work, and then Tommy would get mad at me all the time. Why don't you do your set? I'm not gonna do my set in front of that guy.
Because he's notorious joke thief, and there were comics. A lot of my good buddies would not go on stage if he was in the room.
Rogan's right-hand man today is young Jamie, but back in the day, it was comedian Brian Redband. At some point, Redband started secretly collecting footage of Carlos Mencia's thievery, with the intention of making a video and posting it to Rogan's website. But the final part of this expose would come in 2007 when Rogan stormed the stage during one of Mencia's live performances at the Comedy Store to reveal to the audience who he really was.
Somebody important enough that he had to end the show by saying Carlos Mencia. That's why. You don't know that no guy supports him. You don't know that if someone steals a riff from a song that's in the news constantly, steal and make it on HBO, put it on television. What are you saying? I know you guys are acting like a little.
After this confrontation, Rogan felt like this was the nail in the coffin for Mencia's career. Rogan uploaded this video compilation to his website and YouTube titled Carlos Mencia vs. Joe Rogan. This video smashed together the IRL confrontation, clips of Mencia's stolen material, as well as commentary from other comics backing Rogan's claims.
Go ahead, tell everybody. You steal material. What material? What material? You already bit verbatim about. Wait a minute. Oh, you mean the bit that either George Lopez did when he just did that show? He did it a long time ago when he was opening for you. You saw him do it. He opened for. He never opened for me. Did I open for you? Did that show? I was doing that joke before. Yes, bro. I was.
Here's this new thing. I don't know if you guys heard this. He wants to build a new wall all down the California-Mexico border. Like a 12-foot high brick wall. It's like 3 feet deep. So no Mexicans get in. But I'm like, dude, Arnold, who do you think's going to build that wall?
I propose that we kick all the illegal aliens out of this country. Then we build a super fence so they can't get back in. And I win. Who's going to build it? That's the joke. Do you really think that a Jewish guy came up with that joke?
The video also included a radio interview of legendary Latino comic George Lopez talking about how he physically assaulted Mencia after he stole Lopez's material.
I think I had him on my show.
Oh, the Mind of Mencia. That's what you're talking about.
You have a feud with him, right? I don't know if it's much a feud as... Did you punch him out or something? Yeah, I did. You did? What happened? Tell me. Feud. Well, the guy was pretty liberal with some of the material, and... This is a comedian? He had an HBO one-night stand that I think had we counted 13 minutes of my material on it, and... Wow. We contacted HBO, and I think they pulled it for a while.
George Lopez can grab you by your neck and slam you up against the left back of the wall for ripping off your HBO special? What? You know what he did? Because you're a liar, bro. And he do it to me? You know what's up with me? Give me a hug. What's up? George Lopez, I think just said on Howard Stern that he doesn't want any other Hispanic comedian to make it except for him. Yeah, maybe he said that.
Additionally, there was an interview with Bobby Lee that essentially proved how comedians were scared of telling the truth of Mencia's joke theft.
Yeah, Dad, do a couple minutes of his material. Well, I'll just do some of my material, and then you'll get us a hit. So, I'll just talk about myself. What has he ever stolen from you? I used to this bit about how I was so small that my dad would have to get on my shoulders to get on a ride at Disneyland. The heat of the bit, literally, but this is, I can't do it. What is this? Who cares? Reality. Anyway, it's good to see you. This is the reason why comedians get away with stealing. Comedians like you are afraid of confrontation.
Now, if Rogan posted this expose video today, Carlos Mencia's career would have likely ended overnight. But at the time, Mencia was a huge draw, selling out shows and bringing in serious money. Rogan was actually seen as the troublemaker in this situation, the guy calling out the cash cow and stirring up controversy on stage. And since Mitzi Shore, owner of the comedy...
So, last night he used him. Honestly, nothing better than when a guy brings...
I'm gonna get y'all horny ass off my
Store
screen.
had strong ties to Mencia and prioritized business over beef. Rogan was banned from the Comedy Store for nearly 10 years, and Carlos kept doing shows like nothing happened. After this situation, you can imagine Mencia felt untouchable. What would have ended his career turned into a small inconvenience that he shrugged off, and Rogan was the one who was punished. With his confidence at an all-time high, in a 2010 documentary, Mencia straight up admitted that he was a joke thief.
A lot of people out there are going to ask, why did they interview Carlos about this? Carlos is a joke thief. Carlos steals jokes, and we know this. And listen to me, and look at me when I tell you this, with all honesty. If you think that I steal jokes, yeah, you're right. Of course I steal jokes. Are you out of your mind? When I come to a comedy club, you better run. You better get the off stage, because if anything you say is even remotely funny, I'm going to make it mine, and all I'm going to do is say Mexican in the front.
But Carlos could not be protected by his status forever. The internet started playing a much bigger role in a comedian's popularity, as many of them built their fan bases online through podcasting and social media. Fans develop a deeper connection with podcast comedians because they feel like they know the real person behind the stand-up act. Nobody was afraid to call out Mencia's joke theft online, and once fans saw the receipts, Mencia started facing serious consequences.
The infamous Carlos Mencia.
Infamous.
You've become kind of infamous.
Dude, it's so weird, man. I was at the Comedy Store on, Saturday night, and I popped in really late.
Yeah.
Like, on purpose.
Right.
Just because I knew, all right, I'm going to bump somebody, but at least it'll be, like, toward the end, and
right.
It won't be, so I got there literally at 1 something.
Yeah.
It was about 20 minutes or so, and, the crowd was happy. They were great. It was awesome. I'm out back, and you know how this parking lot is structured,
yeah.
And there's the big ramp where they park on the other side by the hotel.
Yeah, yeah.
The guy literally sitting on the door, the passenger side, holding like probably a flip or something like that.
Yeah.
Pointing it at me, just yells out, "You suck! You're the worst piece of ever! You!" And I'm just like, really? Is that necessary, bro? Like, honestly? Wow.
Even South Park made an episode roasting Carlos Mencia for his reputation as a compulsive liar.
Yeah! Viva la Mexico! So, Carlos, you've got a show on Comedy Central, a stand-up tour. Where did you have time to come up with this classic joke? Well, I just kicking it with my homies and my brain. My brain's always so full of ideas because I'm so funny and stuff. So I was just all like, "Hey, Pepito, you like fish sticks?" And my homeboy says, yeah, Carlos, you know, you're so funny. And it just occurred to me, I was like, oh man, you must be gay fish, Holmes. Oh, okay, look, it wasn't me. I didn't really start the fish stick thing, all right? You're just saying that now because you're scared. No, man, it's true. I stole
Is that
it, man.
Kanye?
I took credit for it because I'm not actually funny. Come on, man. Do you know what it's like? Being a comedian but not being funny?
Almost all of the comedians that Carlos stole from became bigger than him during the podcast and social media era, which just further drove his reputation into the ground as fans took sides with their new favorites. In a shocking twist of fate, Bobby Lee actually tried to help Mencia restore his reputation. He invited him onto his podcast to get him to come clean and admit to his theft, but he continued to deny, make excuses, and even claim to be a victim.
It's just like, that's what it is. I realize how much negativity it creates. They did something to me that comics, up until then, never done. We handled art together, right? There have been stories about Kinnison pulling out a gun on Dice and all that, but those stayed amongst us. That was never put on the internet so that normal people that don't know about comedy get involved.
What would you do differently about that?
Nothing.
I mean, you fat bastard. You can't be fucking stealing fucking jokes, gang. Even though it's just words, but still, fat fuck. Don't fucking steal jokes, fatty.
That's what I was thinking.
I wouldn't do a thing different. I took the hit, but it's like the hit wasn't bad because I was right, and eventually I knew they would realize I was right, and I would wish that he would realize I was right. I don't think you should air this, but I'm in a vulnerable place. You know how? You know that I have a family and some friends. I've stopped some of my good friends from doing some to people that talk about me.
Now, I could be wrong, but if we were to interpret Mencia here, he essentially threatened Rogan that he has family members that would physically harm him. Bobby tried as hard as he could to get Mencia to take accountability, but it didn't work.
But a lot of your material was a little too similar to the ilk of Paul Mooney or, you know what I mean, Bill Hicks or, you know,
Sure.
The Cosby thing was, you know, right. So my point, and I know my point though being is that, you know, to me, where there's smoke, there's fire.
You personally have seen me write 20 minutes on stage in one show.
I have seen that, but I have also seen some of your act, you know what I mean, a little too close to things that have already been established, like the Bill Cosby bit.
Yeah, I've never seen that one. So
I know. My point though is that it's so similar, right?
Yeah.
For me, you know, there's certain codes that go on in comedy. Like for instance, I remember one time Johnny Sanchez said, you know, I'm doing this new bit about, you know, me walking through a spider web, and but people from afar can't see you walking through the spider web,
Right.
and so you know they just think you're a crazy person,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I looked at him and I go, yeah, Ryan Regan does that bit. And Johnny goes, oh, well, I'm not going to do it anymore, right? There's that like little code, right? And I believe that if you had written that bit, that you would continue to do it. And I just feel like it might be a situation where it might be, you know, unfixable, which is a sad thing.
Arguably, the only reason comedians were able to steal without punishment in the past was because they succeeded before everything was posted online. It's not an exaggeration to say that the internet basically put an end to joke theft completely, and nobody felt this change more than Amy Schumer when her reputation for stealing bits was posted all over YouTube. Amy Schumer exploded onto the comedy scene seemingly out of nowhere. She had an advertising campaign for Butterfinger, was a reoccurring guest on Fox News' Red Eye with...
I remember her advertising campaign for Butterfinger. She was always in Butterfinger commercial, which is kind of top five worst games of all time.
Greg Gutfeld, and in 2013 she secured a comedy sketch show called Inside Amy Schumer that ran for 6 years, almost just as long as The Chappelle Show and Mind of Mencia combined. She was also starring in movies and even making her own, like Trainwreck with SNL legend Bill Hader. But Schumer had been in stand-up comedy for less than a decade, which is the length of time comics believe is necessary to be a solid professional. All of her recent success made her look like an industry plant, with a majority of people agreeing that she was never funny to begin with.
And then I realized there's holes in the bottom of the trash can. So really I'm just puking all over my own and sweatpants. So We're engaged. No, just kidding.
And while a lot of women have had a hard time being accepted in comedy, Schumer's jokes would fall flat anytime she wasn't surrounded by the fringe group that enjoyed her work. Most of her material was about vaginal hygiene, gross, and how she was a no-nonsense boss babe that deserved to be in the industry because she spoke her mind. And a lot of people resented her presence from the very start. She's living proof that literally anybody can become successful in comedy, even the unfunniest person on earth. I can't even tell if she's making a joke. And whenever she did come up with new joke premises, it was often mean-spirited and felt less like a joke and more like a personal attack. Like when she made fun of Steve-O from Jackass at the roast of Charlie Sheen, saying that he should have passed away instead of his late friend, Ryan Dunn.
And Steve-O is here. Steve-O, great try. Steve-O! But I truly am, no joke, sorry for the loss of your friend Ryan Dunn. I know you must have been thinking it could have been me, and I know we were all thinking, why wasn't it? Thank you.
Steve like, bitch, I don't find that funny. Fuck.
And while people are quick to say that she only got backlash because she is a woman, this is one of those jokes that was in poor taste no matter who it came from. She was probably looking for shock value. It was a horrible joke to make to a guy that lost his best friend. I've watched Steve-O practically my whole life, and I've never seen him have that look. Amy is just so inconsistent, especially how close this was to Ryan's passing. The public perception truly started to shift in 2015 when The Guardian posted a story called Amy Schumer, Comedy's Viral Queen. For such a keen observer of social norms and an effective satirist of the ways gender is complicated by them, Schumer has a shockingly large blind spot around race. Her lackluster stint hosting the MTV Movie Awards, a rare misstep, featured lazy jokes about Latina women being crazy. Schumer has said she's not worried about the show upsetting people because viewers know we have good intentions. But as Ann Theriault wrote for The Daily Dot, Amy Schumer frequently makes jokes that perpetuate stereotypes rather than dismantle them. It's hard not to feel like Schumer is only here for women who look like her. Now, this was a respectable critique, but what made it worse for Schumer was that the jokes she made about race weren't even her jokes to begin with. They were usually blatant rip-offs of other people's work, like when she took Kevin Nealon's bit about Asians looking tired.
It dawned on me that I don't see it in colors. I don't. In high school, I went out with this Chinese girl for a while once. I didn't even know she was Chinese. I thought, I don't know, maybe really tired? No, seriously, I felt bad. I kept bringing her home early every night. I said, you get a little sleep, we'll do this again another time. I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere.
Oh, I couldn't be less racist. I mean it. I was at a party 2 weeks ago in LA, and who walks in but Michelle Kwan? And out of nowhere, she tells me that Oliver Stone, you know, the director, she's like, he has this huge Asian fetish, and I find it totally offensive. And I'm like, why, Kwan? That sounds awesome, you know? And she's like, well, I'm offended because I'm Asian. And I was just like, well, I'm sorry, but I didn't even notice that. I thought you were just like really tired.
Or when her show Inside Amy Schumer took a Mad TV sketch about not recognizing a black retail worker.
How's this?
Oh, that's perfect.
They can ring you up right over there.
Thanks so much.
Okay, I'm Bengi. If you need any other sizes, you please let me know, all right?
Okay.
There you go.
Hi.
Hi, how you doing?
Great.
All right, did somebody help you with this?
Yeah, she's right over. Oh, she's not there. Did someone help you today?
Yeah,
Who was it? You know, I don't see him.
Oh, that's okay. What did she look like?
She's dark hair. She was wearing a blazer.
Oh yeah, all the girls are wearing blazers.
Yeah, but this was a green one.
Yeah, that's the uniform.
Do you know what he looks like?
yeah, he is wearing like a vest, like a plaid shirt. I feel like.
I don't know what everyone who works here wore today.
He had short hair.
And again, if this was just a few jokes, maybe Schumer could have avoided her demise. But there are so many cases of joke theft that you can find 20-minute videos jam-packed full of stolen material.
And they crawl into your bed. And because their bones are growing and everything, they can only sleep in certain positions, obviously. The crucifix and the swastika tend to be the most popular.
Damn.
Because I swear I found the one guy in Manhattan that loves like spooning. You know, just hugging all night. And I like sleeping by myself like a swastika. I'm just like.
Sleeping in the shape of a swastika is too unique of a premise for it to be a coincidence, considering that is not at all a normal way of describing a sleeping position. She even stole one of Ellen DeGeneres' jokes and then delivered it right back to her on her own show.
And something about the darkness, we just lose all of our inhibitions in the darkness. Is the popcorn really that delicious we must shovel handfuls of it into our mouth?
Crazy part is, I never knew Ellen DeGeneres was a comedian. Thought she just did TV and had a talk show. That's insane. I'm just now learning that.
I mean, popcorn, the way I think we all eat popcorn, which is, you know, at first I always kind of start out kind of like lying to yourself, like, oh, cool. Like one piece at a time, you know, and then like you get a little more real, right? And then eventually you just like, you get real, and it just, like I've split my lip trying to get one more kernel. It's true. Do you eat popcorn like that though? Are you a popcorn lover?
Yeah, I do. And I eat it exactly like that.
Amy had a habit of promoting people's specials and then stealing from them, essentially telling on herself.
Attell is the best. Attell. Did you see his special road work?
I heard it's awesome.
It's so funny.
Those balls are disgusting, aren't they? Wow. And they stink. Yeah, they do. All right, I'll speak for my balls. On my best day, my balls might smell like a foot. On my best day.
Here's why he's brave. On my best day, my smells like a small barnyard animal. Okay?
But I'm not going to be one of those crazy pregnant ladies who tries to get all back in shape right after they get pregnant. No. Hopefully, if you see me in a year, I will have the kind of body where if I do a nude scene on television, people will commend me for being courageous.
I tweet out this photo of myself, okay? I'm holding coffee, I'm topless in just underwear, and it goes viral. And that's when I learned the word you don't want people to use when a nude photo of you goes viral. Brave?
Amy Schumer's jokes are like when you copy and paste homework, but it sounds too smart, so you have to make it sound dumber. And despite the mounting evidence against her, Schumer made efforts to push back on the idea that she was stealing material.
Anybody who writes on my show, we sit there, we think of ideas, and then we're like, oh no, that's a Key and Peele. Oh no, was this too some, you know. We've not done so many scenes because it was in a commercial, like, because one person saw a little bit of it somewhere else. I would never do anything that was even similar to anyone else.
And like many other comedians before her, since she was a big enough draw, these stolen jokes did not end her career overnight, but it was more like death by 1,000 cuts. Her Netflix special, The Leather Special, was flooded with 1-star ratings and labeled painfully unfunny. She claimed it was due to alt-right trolls review bombing the special, but the backlash had already spread far beyond politics. Her film roles started drying up, her show ended due to low ratings, and she quietly stepped away from the spotlight. These days, Amy Schumer is still working, and I'm sure she still has a core fan base, but she is well past her prime with seemingly no chance of reaching the peak she once had.
W video, Patrick. W fucking video, my nigga. That might have been a bad reaction for me, but she definitely stole some material, brother. That's crazy. The fuck? That was tough though, man. Shout out to y'all though, chat. I'm finna get up off this bitch, man. Once again, I love y'all. Appreciate y'all for tuning into my motherfucking stream. Big dubs, YouTube and Twitch. I love y'all, man. But I'm out. Got 50 followers. What's up, Ian? 5 people chatting at the same time. These 25 followers. She went 4 different days. Remember? Almost got this. You got 1,000 yards there before. Hell no. I don't even know what the fuck that is. My brother. Damn. Neck itching and shit. Are you having a good day? Shit, hell yeah, I'm having a good day. My day going very fucking well, man. Bro, everybody. By everybody, I mean everybody streams. Damn. Make sure you like the stream for me, Ian. Like the stream and sub, bro. You know, I greatly appreciate it if you do, you feel me? Oh. Shit, I know you sub, my nigga Xavier. You my mans. Even though you be in here saying goof ass shit. Still fuck with you. Oh. Shit. And this windowsill dirty as hell. May God be with you. Shit, may God be with you too, bro. I do that when I'm off the meds. You do what when you off the meds, nigga? Bro, you beating your meat or something? Nigga, no. I told I be beating my fucking meat while I'm streaming. Stupid ass nigga. Maybe slap the shit out you. Let's lock the fuck in, man. Let's lock in, pussy ass niggas. This nigga's asked me why are you so fat? The same reason why you on your knees with my dick down your motherfucking throat, nigga. Like, get off your fucking knees while I bust. Pussy. So there you go with the BBC choking and busting nuts and throat shit. I used to have a collection of Nerf guns as a kid thinking I was hard as shit. Shit, I used to have a collection of Nerf guns too, thinking I was that nigga. But was I really? Technically, yeah. But not really.
Sup, thugs? Sup, Elvis? I see y'all, man. How we doing? Listen, back in the shed. Yeah, back in the shed, man. Well, here I am, backed up. Gosh, bro. Just here to talk to everyone, you know, clear something, not clear some things up. I mean, y'all clearly know what happened. Obviously, like, well, so,
Any baddies lately? First of all, nigga, we don't ever call them baddies.
fucking embarrassed. Another eye patch. Oh, bro. Bro, I'm so tired. I mean, it's my eye, bro. Like, actually about to pop out my skull at this point. Every time it's my eye, like, bro, hit something else, bro. If something else get fucking triggered, like, bro, what? I haven't really talked about it, since, like, it happened. Like, nobody, to be honest, believe it or not. Obviously, like, people worrying, like, families worrying, whatnot, but it's like, what's there to say, bro? Like, it's 4 people. Like,
What's up, Guitar Show?
cost, I think the big five will appreciate it.
Make sure y'all like the stream. Share no respect without money anywhere.
The morning I woke up, I was just, I remember I was just like,
Shit, more than likely not.
I was like, what the fuck happened, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the fuck even happened? Like, completely, you know what I'm saying? And then that day went by, and I was just trying to, like, figure, like, think it through, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm gonna be honest, when you're in a situation like that, you just bro, you just work off adrenaline at that point. You get what I'm saying? You just work off straight adrenaline, and you're just like, bro, I was so fucking mad. Like, y'all don't even understand, bro. Once I felt that fucking hit in the back of my head.
Yo, if you in the stream, like the stream. And make sure y'all, make sure if y'all got Twitch, sub to my Twitch too, man. Well, sub to my Twitch. Follow me on Twitch.
Really, you know what I'm saying? But it was after obviously the Max party. It was after Max's party. I mean very normal. Very normal. I left Max's party, as y'all know. Everybody was there. You know what I'm saying? Very simple. And first of all, I just want to say this real quick. Obviously this shit went everywhere, and there's just 4 guys. I'm gonna say real quick.
So I hope one day you become famous. Appreciate that, Ian. Make sure you sub too, bro. Shit, with your help, I will. Say he's on his way with how much he streams, for sure. You ain't lying. You ain't lying. Well, shit, hopefully I ain't gonna lie to you. This ain't nothing guaranteed, but how much I stream, I hope I do become, well, shit, fuck the fame, shit. Getting money from it is really the goal, you know? But yeah. You know, inside job, shit, probably. I'm a little too tired to even think about that right now. What's up, Demon?
Real quick, because it's not fair. Also, a part where I actually went on this live, to be honest, because I I'm gonna tell you right now, like, please don't oh shit, don't harass them, like, don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't them at all. I guess that was pretty obvious, but stop laughing, bro. It's just not funny. Like, so I kind of laughed in freaking days, bro. But yeah, no, it wasn't them. It wasn't them at all. But I just want to say that so y'all don't like. I seen he was like even commenting on his TikTok, like in his fucking bio, he was like, I did not jump Marlon. And that's not funny. I did not jump Marlon. Please stop or something like that. So just don't bully them and stuff like that. It's not the case. You know what I'm saying? But I'm leaving Max's party, and
Bro, it's Paul George
I go
2.0.
home. I go home with Brad. I go home with Rocket. Right? Rocket's my camera member. If you don't know.
Bro, you look like Paul George. They gonna look shit like Paul George. And you might be the second motherfucker to come on my stream and say some shit like that. To make I like fucking Paul George. For one, my line ain't all the way down here. Feel what I'm saying? He got a dope ass hairline. My forehead a lot bigger than his shit. You feel me? He also ain't got this nice illustrious beard that I have. Drink a Red Bull, bro. You a night person. Yeah, you could say that. Not really a morning person at all, but I've been fucking up my sleep schedule staying up this late, bro. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I'm gonna do less late streams and more, you know what I'm saying? Let me get back on my morning shit. Tomorrow I'm going live super fucking early. Like right when I wake up, bro. I gotta stop fucking doing the bed rotting shit and just go live when I wake up. On Twitch and on here. Yeah, for sure. What's up, Hazza? Like the stream, broski. If you in here, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream too, Xavier.
Nick, the YouTuber, and Brad, that's like brought him in, and then a couple other people. But also, what you gotta understand at that point, it's like, what time was it? Maybe, what time did I get back? I'm gonna be honest, this could be super off, but like, basically middle of the night, you know what I'm saying? Middle of the night, and I go home, it's in the middle of the night, mind you, I'm taking the Uber back home with people, like with Brad, with Rocket. It's very simple. I come back home. We do that every time we come back home late. It's not a problem. Like I've done that how many times I came back home late? Like it's not, bro. Like what? I don't think nothing of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it is, right?
Cute for you, man.
Very simple. We're staying tall
What do
for like an hour.
you think about Pakistan? Shit, shout out to Pakistan. They be supporting me heavy in my streams and shit. They be coming through showing hella love. Shout out to them, India, shit, the Philippines. They be coming through showing niggas some love. Outside of the United States, shit, those are my, I think, as far as from my analytics on YouTube, which I look, shit, those are my three biggest, I guess you could say, not fan bases, but like supporting groups or whatever. Depending on how authentic that shit really is, but seems legit enough, so I'll run with it. But yeah, it's one of those things where it's like, shout out to them. They be showing a nigga love, bro. I ain't got nothing to say about them people. Real shit. So they fuck with me, I fuck with them.
Hour or some shit, like it's not an hour, like 30 minutes. We just be chilling, whatever. Brad goes to bed. Yo, why y'all still got ads for, bro? God. Brad goes to bed. Very simple. Brad goes to bed. He closes his door. And for the people who don't know, it's the middle of the night, so Rocket goes home as well. He after was like, yo, I'll see you tomorrow. We'll do the stream. The day after, I was supposed to do the sleepover with Lacey, right? So I was like, we already figured it out. So okay, I'll see you tomorrow, right? Whatever. And basically, that's maybe now the time is maybe like I haven't. I'm gonna be honest with you. this night. I don't really have track of time completely. I'm gonna be really honest. So they go to bed.
You
back,
smoke
okay,
weed? Nah, I quit.
that month, whatever. And as y'all know, I see.
I quit like a year and a half ago. Almost been clean for like 2 years or some shit. Well, I guess you could say sober, not clean. Shit. Yeah, been sober for like 2 years now, pretty much. Fuck smoking weed. That shit made a nigga lazy as shit. I ain't gonna lie to you, brother. So I did too. It made you stop. Really, my health had a lot to do with my health, bro. You know what I'm saying? Just on some real unhealthy shit, and it was just a bad habit that I developed. You don't really know you doing some shit that's like fucking you up until, I mean, I guess you could say until it's almost too late type shit, you know? So I just quit that shit and said, fuck it. One of the best decisions I ever made, shit. I say, I forgot when the fuck I actually quit. Well, it was like November, I think, of 2023. Shit, and then a couple months after that, like in August, in November 2023, by August of 2024, I started doing YouTube. You feel what I'm saying? So how was it fucking your body up? I mean, shit, not just your body, shit, your mind too, bro. You know what I'm saying? As far as thinking clearly. You don't, like I was saying, you don't really notice that you have an addiction to something until, you don't notice you have an addiction to something until, I guess you could say, until you quit it. Like, yeah, until you quit the shit. And then you notice you don't need it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty much I could just say that. Like, I kind of felt like I needed that shit all the time to function and shit, you know? To be like, oh shit, if I'm finna get pissed off, or if I'm feeling pissed off, I gotta go smoke some weed and shit like that. When in reality, you ain't gotta do that shit. You feel what I'm saying? You could just she would just live life. You feel me? No bullshit. That's how I feel about it. Trust me, it's and I put it in short words. It's the best I ever felt since before I started smoking weed, which was a long ass fucking time ago. So yeah, I feel fucking great not having to wake up and be like, damn, bro, where am I gonna get some weed from? Who am I gonna, like, I gotta go to the store and buy blunts, and I gotta wait on this weed, man, and do all this extra shit. Like, when you ain't gotta do that shit no more, and you kind of got your own willpower and your own control over your own shit, it's like, fuck this shit. I don't need this. I don't need this shit no more, you know? Shout out to everybody that still smoke weed, though. Let me clean this shit up, though.
On the couch. So I sleep on the couch and y'all for 6 months. So I'm in the living room. So I'm in the living room and everybody else in their rooms, closed doors, sleeping.
God damn it.
And all the people that was in the ads, I was just saying how I was this in the middle of the night coming back home from the party at this point, okay? And I don't know, y'all told me this, but this might sound weird, or not weird, but this might sound like, what's that called? What's that one word? This might sound ignorant, but I'm not scared of going out in the middle of the night, going to go get a drink at a store or a gas station or anything like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not, like why would my mind just go straight to being scared of walking outside? Nobody should be. Yes, I know it's a very envious world. It is. I mean, clearly, fuck, like, you know what I'm saying? Fuck me, but that's just what I thought. And I'm not even from here either. You know what I'm saying? I'm from a small city back home now, bro. That's all the time. That's simple. You know what I mean? But you in LA, but like, so what though? Like, you get what I'm saying? Like what? I'm just supposed to be like scared in the back of my mind the whole time and like not go get a freaking drink if I want to? You know what I'm saying? Well, I hear y'all, but that's my thought before going outside, right? So anyway, so I go to, there's always this 7-Eleven I go to. I'm talking always, right? So there's this 7-Eleven I go to, and mind you, it's middle of the night, nobody's outside. I always go there. I want to drink, I want to snack something. It's maybe 5-10 minute walk. That's it. You know what I'm saying? That's it. And I go outside. I walk down the street, normal, whatever. Here is generally, y'all may think I'm trolling. I don't know if this is normal or not. I've been in fights before. Don't get me wrong, but like high school times, like well, like younger times. You know what I'm saying? But not like an actual, like fucking, like full on. You know what I mean? I have to use my freaking, yeah, you know. So I'm just walking, normal fucking human being, bro. And here's where this is all I'm saying. I don't know if like there's such a quick boom, like such a shocker, so I just
Quit everything was I thinking to
like,
get honest,
like
yeah.
on the way there pretty much.
Even
So there
tried
was
to
no
kick
people
it
at all.
in.
Like there was no people at all, nothing. Like there was just
Shit, you can do it.
No, this is one of those streets where you know when there's like one of those streets where there's no lights or nothing. Like it's one of those. You know what I'm saying? No lights, basically no houses. It's just like a middle part until you get to the thing, if that makes sense. I don't know if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm fucking sweating in this bitch. So, out of nowhere, I kid you not, it just, from this point on, that's all I want to say. Sorry for just, I'm sorry, I haven't really told the story yet, so I'm sorry if I'm just not speaking well right now, but this is just was a huge blur for me at first. Huge blur, like the whole thing, I'm gonna be honest, you know what I'm saying, at first. And out of nowhere, boom. And I'm like, you know how you like react? Like you react, it's like, that's not gonna get me down. Like that's not gonna get me down. It's like a straight fist. That's the only thing I remember because at that point I'm still good. You know what I'm saying? Straight fist, boom. At that point I'm like, what the, like for a quick second I'm like, what the fuck? Like you know what I'm saying? That's my genuine reaction. I'm like what? I didn't comprehend it.
I mean, why the fuck is your name Funky Monkey?
So obviously, as you do, in my head, this might sound funny, and like it's not even funny, but this is what I'm thinking because I'm thinking it's a friend or something, or it's one of those humans from the party, like something. I don't know what I didn't know what, but someone that I know that's like fucking with me, but it's like a hard punch though. So I'm like what the fuck punching me in the back of my head? You know what I'm saying? So I turn around. Obviously, what am I supposed to do? Just be like this? Like hunched over? So I turn around quick as hell. Mind you, in the middle of the night, it's dark. So I'm like, I turn around, boom, get hit in the face. That's when I realized there's 4 people. It's not just one that punched me. They punched me in the back. Straight to the eye. I go. And I don't get down. Like I do this. Like I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm saying, what the fuck? And scrap. 4. Boom. Motherfuckers trying to tear my fuck. I had a tank top on. Trying to tear me. Just start punching everywhere. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm turning around. I'm clocking the one who punched me. You know what I'm saying? To be honest with you. And it's like, you know what I'm saying? The thing is, yeah, I'm not trying to say too much, but like, it's like, at that point, one is in front. He's punching me. Here's where it just gets very blurry. I'm be honest. I don't know if that's normal or not, but here's just where it just gets very, very blurry.
Jesus
I just start swinging, bro. Like, what am I supposed to do?
Christ.
Like, you know what I'm saying? What am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? So I'm like, in my head, I'm just thinking everything, bro. I'm thinking, he's right there. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, if it's a 1v4, what are you supposed to do, bro? I think as humans, it's a survival instinct at that point. And you know what I'm saying? I'm a big dude, so it's not like they're not, like, I'm not saying that to be cocky, but I'm a big dude, so like, I don't care if you're 4 or 1, it don't matter. It's like, it's gonna take longer for them to take me down than if somebody was a little bit smaller. That's just reality of it. You know what I'm saying? So, in my head, I'm not really thinking run. I'm just thinking fight back. Because what? In my head, all I know is this. If you run, they will run after you. I mean, ever since I was in school, I ever been in a fire or something like that, and when you run, they run after you. That's where it goes in my head. So, I'm gonna be really honest right now. I don't know for how long this went on, but we're fighting. Now, I'll be honest, it is kind of embarrassing to say we're fighting, bro. I'm 23 years old, but like, what do you mean fighting, bro? On an open street in LA, fighting. Boy, I had a choice. No gun on me, no knife, no nothing. Why would I carry that? I've never carried that in my life. I wouldn't carry that. it's like. You know what I'm saying? It's an event, mind you, at this point, it's no traffic lights. There's so I'm not. What is, bro? I've just been thinking about it every single day. Is that I can't remember their faces.
Good nap, 'cause I'm still.
I see clips of him running down on Sarah. That's literally his girlfriend, so I don't know why he worried about me. Shit. So how about that? There's no clips of me running down on DDG. Don't ever try to make it like I'm pressed over a nigga that I'm not pressed over. Like, don't do that. Y'all see any clips of me running down on DDG? Cause I don't. Look, show me. I want to see them. Let me see. Let's get messy. Let's dive all the way in. I don't see none. Alright, let's go look. Let's go look. Let's go look.
You know what's the word, Jax?
The stream is dead. Also not on stream.
Come on, cuz. This is when the freaking. Okay, I can do something with this now. This is neon colors. This is like. How is the hair? Maybe like cornrows? Okay, and let me just say this because I don't know if it's all the men in here want to fuck Chris Brown or something. Because y'all love it. Y'all love it. Like, yes, I do know who that is. I have worked with him in the past. Sorry. That wasn't. But you know, people can be cool, you know? Like, just because he's the opposite gender doesn't mean that, you know, we're forever on anything. I worked with him professionally. He's a really good guy. He's really nice. He's really sweet. But I never did anything with him. We never had any relations or anything like that. So, yeah. I really like the fact that I get to be myself. Like, I love to be myself. Not cornrows, French braids.
Going around and ask me that dumbass shit in your life. I don't give no fuck. You not eating this dick, there will be no baby making music anyway. What the fuck do you think this is? It's like, yeah, let's play sad music right now because we both sad. What? No, shut the fuck up. Play good music, and that's it. Don't play no freak shit because that's not the type of time we are. You not eating my dick. I'm not fucking you. No. What are we doing? Like, I'm sorry. I'm very straightforward. I'm very vague. I'm very vague for the shit I say. I don't play that shit. No, hell no. Stupid motherfucker. Oh, let's play some freak music. Fuck is you? You say shit with a thought process of a 14.
Fuck, I'm fucking this up so bad. Oh my gosh. What is this? I need like a cardigan. Combat boots.
Crazy because I was playing basketball and I was not supposed to, so my shit peeled off. And a lot of this shit just does not look how it's supposed to look. But at the end of the day, nigga, I don't know how to fix it. The pain of this shit was crazy. I don't know how to fix it. So, what's the thing that makes you slow, bro? Chill. I'm down to do the stars. I'm not gonna lie, down to do the stars, but it's just who's gonna do the stars and how much are they trying to charge me for the stars. No, this room fucking crazy with the stars. Then I want to be able to smoke in here. Because then the smoke is under the stars. Two more Cuban, Silky, or big SLG chain, you old smart. I'm not even fascinated about you. I'm dead now, bro. That's why I haven't bought no new shit. I'm keep it low, bro. I'm really stacked out. I do want to get some good growth. At first I was gonna get near, but I'm like, bro, I'm not sitting here getting gassed about everything. It's like, my team is that, my team is that. Like, I literally just had to clean the to like, that's a super, super. This is a state from Sunday. And eating bad shit like at night.
Facts.
And I feel like the equipping and equipping, the equipping and unequipping the gorillas is just that shit's so funny, bro. Bro, then I just like pulling off a big at the girl, my path, bro. That's the first one of the shit I thought. Everybody. I don't like that cellar door being open, bro. I ain't gonna lie, but that shit.